Welcome, Francesco. We're going to talk about practical AI for developers. The stage is yours.
This talk is about AI. And now I will spend the rest of the hour to introduce you 100 AI tools you can level up with before it's too late. And now let's delve into the next chapter of this presentation, M-dash, a non-stressful one for sure. I hope you are ready. Shall we go for these 100 AI tools? I don't know, because on social media, especially on Twitter, I see this kind of posts. They are real posts, by the way. So, RIP web developers. Here are 10 AI tools that creates your websites in 5 minutes. A web designer with a Sander, which I picture. Random Elon Musk post. 135 plus AI tools that you can level up with before it's too late. And all of this, to be honest, it's really exhausting. So having all these tools that we feel that we should learn, it's really exhausting. This is my point of view. And I don't want to say that all the AI tools are not good. Some AI tools are good. The problem is that we see so many tools, there is so much hype, and maybe as developers, we want to spend our time, our available time, building stuff and not chasing just new shiny objects every single day. I'll say that AI tools can be a threat to your job, but this is a question by Stack Overflow in 2024, and I think that differently from Twitter and social media, where people try to scare us, Andrea, there is not a real threat, because so the professional developers do not perceive AI as a threat to their job. And also, most important, there are some ethical issues for AI, especially about misinformation and disinformation, source attribution, imitating a person's likeness, energy demand, and so on. And there are also some challenges with AI at work. And I think the number one is that even if AI can create a lot of code, maybe we don't trust the output. And of course, I'm talking about applications in productions, real SaaS applications. If we are doing just a side project, probably we don't care much. We just want to have fun. But when we're talking about a real job, paid job, real companies, maybe we don't trust the output or the answer by the AI. And also, this was in the original presentation, by the way, and the GitHub Octoverse 2024, we have seen, I would say, a surge in the global generative AI activity, and not just in the United States, but also in other countries, like India, Germany, Japan, Singapore, and much more, especially in the number of contributions to generative AI projects, and also in the increase, or about 100%, in the number of the projects overall. So AI is real. It's not just hype. It's not just a buzzword for sure. So with this introduction, I would say, let's try again. And instead of focusing on 100, 1,000 tools, let's try to talk about AI. But in this talk, I don't want to talk about complex models, the IDEs, even if VS Code is a good one, or a long list of tools. I want to really give some practical and real-world use cases that can help you for real in your day-to-day work, in your day-to-day process of becoming a better developer. This is my goal. It's very important to understand that as a developers, we need to be the experts in a domain. That's very important. And AI is the tool that amplifies an expertise. So we are not replacing our knowledge about a specific domain. And this is not just for developers, but let's say, I don't know, I'm a biologist. I can have my knowledge about a specific domain can really help me in building applications, in creating a successful applications. This will become even more important in the future. I also would like to know what do you think about this. But we should really keep the right developer's mindset. And now I want to know from the people here in the chat, what do you think about vibe coding? I see so many posts about vibe coding. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you neutral? I want to see at least someone writing in the chat.
I don't like the connotation of it. It's been associated with like poor quality of code or like incompetence. That's my only beef with it.
Yes, this is also my point of view. I think I made a post of like, I hate vibe coding a couple of times. But let's go with the definition, of course. Also, some people who don't know what it is. This is interesting. There are different definitions, but if the definition is this one, I don't like vibe coding. So vibe coding is the idea of creating an entire application with a single prompt. So we have an application, let's say, with multiple features, I don't know, authentication, pagination, sessions, writing it in the database, creating a front end and a back end in a single prompt. Is it really possible? Have you ever tried? I would like to know your experience with the vibe coding. Mine has been really not very good in doing exactly this, of course. I'm not saying that I'm not using AI to create code. The problem with vibe coding, I think, is simple, that we give up control. We don't have control of our application anymore. We just let some magic happens and we hope that everything will work. And sometimes I would say it works, maybe for basic applications, but here we are talking about some real world, some production grade applications. And I would like to make this analogy with vibe surgery or vibe piloting. It's not, I don't know you, but maybe I'm too old, but I would not make a surgery with a doctor who is vibe coding through a robot on me. The problem also from our point of view as developers is that we are professionals. We don't want to rely on AI because there might be different models, different outcome. The outcome might change every time we make a different prompt. We should really rely on a solid process and also our knowledge about all these fundamentals and using the existing tools. And so the key is not to just let AI do all the stuff. AI is not a magic wand, but it's this structured tool that if we use it correctly, it can really enhance our existing workflow. I am a huge advocate of keep using GitHub, Git and GitHub the way we all have used it so far. I will die on this hill. And I see Andrea also agrees. And now it's time. I want to give you 5 practical use cases for developers that AI is good at and that can really help us. Also with some real examples, real prompts. Okay, so let's start. The first one, I don't know how many people are doing this, but we can use AI for brainstorming. Even before writing code, we can use AI to generate ideas, to run a feasibility study. Can we do this application or not? Is it worth it or not? Estimate how much time our application will take to be developed. And we can spend some time making some architectural choices before doing this. This is why I don't like to let AI do everything. Also because everyone is different, and AI can even challenge some of our assumptions about this project, can suggest some alternatives, can suggest the stack based on our knowledge. I will never write an application in a language I don't know. Let's do a real example, Andrea. I need to build a real-time chat for my e-commerce application. Compare pros and cons of using WebSockets versus a service. Suggest a basic data schema for the messages. And this is, I think, a really important step. And I see so many people that want to skip this one. But if I'm an expert on WebSockets, I should use WebSockets if I want to build a real-time chat. Do you agree, people here? Or I will just let AI to do everything without me knowing a specific thing? Because maybe for me, it's better to use WebSockets, even if it's less famous, because I know this one. Or maybe I am an expert in Python. Probably I want to create this application in Python. So this is even before letting AI write any line of code. And then this is probably my favorite one, the second one, step-by-step development. And this is basically the opposite of vibe coding. So we can take back control from this single-click app fantasy, and we can ask AI to create a plan. We can. How many of you are doing this? You can let AI break down the app into steps. I see so many people creating applications with one click, not many people using AI to create a plan like this. Create the basic API endpoints, build front-end components, do the DB integration. So I know what to do. And we can, for example, this is something that I do a lot. We can use AI to create the GitHub issues for each step. We can follow the structure plan, and we can implement feature by feature, but we will still be in control. We don't need to disrupt our current workflow. I will still use this process. Am I crazy? Does it sound better than just letting AI to do everything, and then when something is not working, I need to spend some time doing this back again? Or maybe I need to become a master of vibe coding?
Yeah, I see the comments. I think people are agreeing with you. Everybody's shaking their hand, and it's like we don't think about chunking it out, like in modularity. So much of the way the web is composable, right? Like why are we not vibe coding like that? I love this.
Yes. I mean, and maybe you can even change the definition in the future. But I really think that we can still provide a lot of value as developers, and not just let AI do everything. AI is amazing, but GitHub Copilot also, I use it every day. But I think that this is the best one, and this is probably a part that Andrea will like, which is prototyping. This was part of my original talk. So you mentioned prototyping, and so I think AI is great at prototyping. This is what I think AI is the best at. We can get an MVP for a feature. This has never been faster, especially if we do something which is common. AI can generate all this boilerplate code in seconds if we know what we are doing, and then we can focus on the business logic. And if we have some common patterns, like we know what user authentication is, what payment gateway is, API pagination, JWT, sessions, cookies. But if we know all of this, probably we can build an app really in hours. Okay? And here is where AI is really the best. I will try GitHub Spark in an upcoming live stream because I'm curious about this. AI is great at this task, implementing this single feature. AI is amazing on this. I'm not a huge fan of trying to generate multiple features at the same time, because it usually is a mess. That's my idea. For me, it will take less time to create a feature, do the PR, merge the PR, do a commit, and then keep going. Another great use case for AI is accessibility. Accessibility is often an afterthought. I will do it later. I will make the website accessible later. How many times have we we heard this or even said this. I think AI gives us a concrete way to fix this. Finally, we have this practical assistant that can really create an inclusive website or application. Real examples, missing area labels, when we have poor color contrast. We don't even have to check a website anymore. We can still do it. Of course, there will be someone who is expert in accessibility, but even people who are not that expert can do something. And I like to make some practical examples again. How can I make this menu accessible for screen readers? Analyze this HTML and highlight the most critical accessibility issues. And just these two prompts can make your website probably 10 times more accessible. So really, we have no more excuses. The excuse, I don't have time for accessibility, is not valid anymore in 2025. Do you agree? And now we have testing, which is another maybe activity that some people like, some people don't. But finally, we can generate a whole test suite for an app. Testing can be a repetitive and boring activity, not for everyone. If you are a master of testing, probably AI can really empower 10 times, you 10 times. I think it can be used both if for test-driven development or if we want to add the test later, in both of the cases. And of course, we need to know what we are talking about. We need to know the fundamentals. We need to know what unit tests are, integration tests, end-to-end tests are to cover all these edge cases. But I think AI can really do a lot here. So accessibility and testing, I think it can really do wonders in this case. Another one is code optimization. When I was working for the European Space Agency, one of my tasks was to optimize an existing code. This is especially if you already have working code and you need to make it more performant. And if you think this might be a nightmare because you don't know, let's say, and I'm talking about, I don't know, having 100,000, millions of requests, and you want to make, that web server slightly better, it's very hard to make tests when you have to do with some huge numbers. And you don't even know if you're improving that code or not. I remember me spending hours, days, weeks on Stack Overflow trying to make a piece of code more efficient. AI is great at this. AI is great at optimizing code which is working, and of course you need to have a working commit on it, but it can improve both execution but even readability. So you can even decide what do you think optimization is. Optimization is not just execution, it can also be make this code more readable for the next developer, make this code like more better to read, or add comments. Examples, how can I optimize this function for better performance? Can you rewrite this, for example, using a different framework, using a different language, or using a different library? It's really, I think this is really an amazing use of AI. And so AI can be a practical tool for brainstorming and planning, creating a development plan, rapid prototyping, improving accessibility, automate testing, optimizing code. Who noticed that there were 6 and not 5 uses of AI? I would like to end by saying don't be scared of AI at all, and that the most effective developers will not be those who will just let AI do all the job. We still have some job to do, sadly or luckily, but the developers who know what to do, how to ask the right questions, how to use the right tools, and now use AI to build some better and faster and smarter applications, but we still need to know the fundamentals. We still to be in control of our application. So please, let's stop chasing the hype. and let's focus on what's practical for our careers. Thank you so much.